Hello, it's Ralph, Insurance Agency Briefing, Program 6. If you've been along the way for those first 5 or part of them, you know that it covers the period 1984 when I began through about the mid-1990s when I got my big break and became an agency owner-operator. Well, I'm going to pick up today in the latter part of the 1990s. I'd been in business on my own for 3 or 4 years now, and I had a nice staff of about a dozen people who were servicing customers and taking care of claims and doing a lot of the important work. And there were 2 other men who were helping me build the agency. One was my vice president, I'll call him sort of the senior agent, and we had sort of a junior agent, and the 3 of us were working together. One day those 2 came into my office and said, "Hey, looks like we've got something here that we're building for a nice future. We'd like a share of the agency profits, and so we'd like for you to create a bonus program for us." So I did. I wasn't quite sure how to proceed, but I did create a program where the senior agent would get 10% of the agency profits and the junior agent would get 5% of the agency profits. Now, the agency wasn't as profitable as it looked like it was because we had a lot of debt. So we had a lot of leverage. So when we made money, it was to pay down debt. But nonetheless, there was some money left over and some money that could be bonused out to them. Well, 3 or 4 years went by, maybe 5, and they reapproached me and said, "Hey, you know what? The bonus program has been fine. We appreciate it. But what we want is to be owners. We want to own a piece of the rock. We want to be shareholders. And so we want to know if we can have that as well." So I met with our company attorney, discussed it with him, and he said, "You know, Ralph, if you've got a future in this business and you think those 2 men are going to be a part of it, I suggest you do it." And so based in part on his advice, we entered into a system where we sort of converted the bonus program to an equity sort of a program. So the senior person owned 10% of the business and the junior person owned 5% of the business. And one more piece of it, they wanted an option to double. So they wanted a stock option so that the 10% person could buy into 20 and the 5% person could buy in to 10. Well, I thought, you know what, even if they exercise all their options, that's still 30%. That leaves me 70. I'm saying to myself, Ralph, don't be greedy, be fair. If that's what's going to work for them and for you, then do it. And so we went ahead and put that program in place. Now, I will say at times it was a little bit of a pain in the neck to administer. It required me obviously to open up all the books, which is okay. I had nothing to hide, but by the same token, it did change kind of the way things operated. I'll also say at times there were probably some resentments along the way. Hey, if the business is making $1 and you're only getting a nickel or a dime, and somebody else is getting 70 cents or 80 cents, you're maybe going to wonder. We're working together, we're building together. Why is someone else getting quite a bit more of what the agency is making, than me? And so that's just something that we had to kind of learn to live with along the way. But I do think in general, the benefits have outweighed the disadvantages, or the advantages have outweighed the disadvantages. It has created long-term relationships, long-term loyalties between all of us. Now, unfortunately, the senior partner that I talked about, he became ill and passed away, and so his shares were redeemed by me, actually. But we've also taken on a few other 5% owners along the way. So it's all kind of worked out, even though sometimes it's a little rocky along the way. So as I maybe wrap up this video, I'll just recommend any insurance agency principal or small business person that before you bring on other shareholders or open up your business to other shareholders, just have a sense of the pros and the cons and the way that it's going to change your business and the way that you operate. But hopefully it helps you create a long-term team and a long-term synergy that will help out. Now, in my case, as much as I wanted to share, I knew that I wanted to maintain both financial and operational control. It's just the way that I'm made, and I have to understand that about myself. So I was never going to give up more, so much that I would lose that control. But it's worked out, and it's been an opportunity for me to kind of share this with you today. Thank you. We'll talk soon.